Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Luke Johnson and I am going to be playing some poker for you tonight on PokerStars. Without further ado, hope you guys enjoy. Going to play some 1k and 2k. So I'm going to play 3 tables and 4 once I've kind of got into the element of streaming, which might be a bit slow, but I will try and give it as detailed analysis as I can, and also once you guys flood into the chat and ask questions, and I can have a conversation with a conversation there as well. So hopefully the 3 tables is enough action. Also, one of these tables is 3-handed, so you get a lot of VPIPs on this table. So really an interesting hand going on here. Small blind versus under the gun, actually versus middle position. Yeah, because I wasn't dealt into the hand. You will call. A7 does do some mixing here with some 4-bets. This is using a lot of a lot of half pots. I'm also lagging a bit with when I click it's not registering immediately. A7 we just press call, no raise, no fold. Let's just review this one as well because this is an interesting hand. So small blind versus middle position, and I think he just goes bet jam here. Half pot, jams. I think you should go 2/3 on turn. Apart from that, it seems like a good line. On the deuce of hearts is obviously complete brick, and you want to go just a bigger sizing, try and put money in. On turn, we're very polarized, and I will choose to go with 2/3 check and not bet this hand at all. And it's pretty hard to get caught by worse here. I think we would want to use the low aces the most because they unblock the calls. So that's going to be a hand like this. So I'll bet this hand before, I'm not sure, so I'll bet before 50. I think, like I said, we're supposed to use the lower kickers because obviously ace 10, ace 10, ace jack, ace deuce are all the same hand in terms of immediate hand strength. And whilst you could say that ace 10 does block jack 10, he doesn't really ever have jack 10 in this line, so I think we care more for unblocking a bunch of calls, like queen jack and queen 10. Although to be fair, he doesn't have much of queen jack, but he does have some. Jack 3, I'm going to raise here before 10 because I do think that we do some raising on this board here. And I'm not sure if we find jack 3, but I think it's okay. In a limped pot we have loads of 2 pairs and some sets. I think we do pretty well here. I think we just confine some of these hands, and now we'll check the turn here. I think sizing would be pot or even 2/3, probably 2/3 actually. Not going to bet this hand ever. And 4s I will, it's kind of interesting if I want to bluff this hand, because I'm jack 10 completes. I probably have to bluff, right? It doesn't feel like I should, but at the same time I think I should. Maybe this is a slight mistake and I should have 4s with a spade here. But the thing is, well, okay, so wasn't expecting that. That might be a mistake on my end. So usually if you're bluffing and you get called and you win, it probably means you've made a mistake. Well, one thing's for sure, somebody's made a mistake, and I would say that I'm the player who's made a mistake here. The reason why I bluffed 4s is that the jack 10, queen jack, queen 10 complete on the queen, and then the 8-6, 8-6, 6-7 and 7-6 complete on the 8, at least to a pair. So it means that the only bluffs that I have are going to be backdoor ace X and then under pairs, which is a really thin range. So I'm not sure. I'm very sure that I'm bluffing with a spade. My combo is the nut worst combo because it blocks the bet check fold region of 4x of clubs and diamonds. So I do have, you know, the worst underpair to bluff because I'd want to bluff deuces before 3s before 4s, and then I'd want to bluff 4s with a spade and then 4s with a heart. So I have the worst underpair possible, but it might just be because the flush gets there to the spades and the 8-6 completes and 8-7s and all the queen jacks and stuff. The only remaining bluffs I have are underpairs and pocket pairs, and I think that's going to mean that I can bluff 4s. If it's a mistake, it's not a big one. Now I've kind of talked myself into that. I think it's a good play, and I think his call is, well, it all comes down to my play. If my play is good, then his play is bad. If my play is good, then his play could be good, because you should never really call and lose. A bluff catcher should be A hand that beats all bluffs and loses to all value, and if I'm supposed to bluff 4s, then he's not supposed to call ace-7. Alright, anyway, on the turn we're going to bomb a big sizing here. I have okay suits. I do it very often here, let's say before 83. It's important not to do it every time because we do have a lot of other hands to use instead with the 7-5 and things, with double gut shots. And on river, I do think I'm using this one every time now when my lower straight draw is complete and I don't have any clubs, and my 10-7 completes. Sizing is 1/3 overbets, and yeah, I like big sizing here. It seems very good. This is probably one of my best bluffs now because I have a 10 blocker. Even though he doesn't have 10-7, he would want to call to block my 10-7, and I don't have a club. So I'd want to use this one before the Queen 10 and Queen Jack. And then all my low draws, apart from, yeah, even 7-5 completes. So yeah, I like this. It's one of my only bluffs left. He calls 7-8 or 7-9, which I think is totally fine. Nice call. Think my play is good, think his play is good. One of those spots where you just don't have many bluffs remaining. Kind of the similar hands with these connecting rivers. It's removing a lot of my bluffs. And yeah, I have the 10 and I don't have any clubs. So I do not regret my decision. And I think his call is probably pure because the 7 is only blocking value. Now I can't have a bluff with the 7 in. 7-8 makes a pair, 7-10, 7-5 both make straights. And the 9 obviously is blocking sets and 2 pairs. So yeah, I think his call is very mandatory there. That's cool. Maybe you're allowed to jam it as well. Jamming would make some sense. So good find for him. Here I have no 3 bets. So I bet on flop, call versus raise. I have usually a very strong range going into the turn. The 6 is one of the lower EV turns for me now because he makes the 7-4 and 7-9. I don't have 7-4 and he has more 7-9 than me. When he checks, I will depolarize now and I'm going to bet often here. I've been doing work on this spot lately. It plays quite counterintuitively. So I think like 2 months ago I was getting the spot quite wrong. The way this spot plays is quite similar to when you call on the button versus like a middle position open where you have an equity advantage. Check now, we expect to lose very often here. He should not be leading because now my bluff's complete with my 9x. Well, maybe he does actually get to lead sometimes. Usually you're not supposed to lead 4 straight rivers, but this actually makes some sense to lead here because I don't have many 9s. He has more 9s than me for sure. I'm definitely checking here. This is unfoldable. I don't think raisable either because like I'm blocking 2 pairs, which is great, but then if I raise, he's going to fold the 2 pairs, or at least some of them. So I think I just press call. The Queen of Clubs is not great, but he's not going to play Queen 7 of Clubs this way, so I'm only really blocking the Queen 8 Clubs. And obviously getting these odds, so you just have to press call. Okay, chop it up. I'm not nit rolling there, I'm just explaining my thoughts. So if I wasn't streaming, I would call way faster. This does do some, at least in my charts, does do a bit of raising. It never ever calls, but cutoff versus exactly the small blind, I'm allowed to do some raising. Versus the big blind, it's just a pure fold. I think because the small blind uses a linear range, I just really want to use blockers. Okay, here we're going to bet often for 1/3. Not too often though. I'm going to say before 75 though. Even though it's way higher than global, I think this hand does benefit a lot by betting. If we bet fold here, it's not that big of a deal. Like a backdoor nut flush draw with a crappy kicker is not worth that much. If this was ace 10 of clubs, I would almost never bet. Now a lot of my bluffs get removed. Ace of clubs is pretty good here. I have to think my hand is blasting on the turn actually. It's pretty good. Here I'm just betting every time. Yeah, I think I'm blasting away here. Ace of clubs is pretty good on blocker, so it's a 3. It does block some aces. Sizing is just going to be half pot here. Could go 41, probably go 41 just because he thought a bit bigger pre-flop. So sizing down for that reason. Yeah, I think I'm just blasting away in this hand. I have a lot of hands like Queen Jack and Diamond X that checks back the turn because they don't want to get... They just have too much equity to bet fold. The Ace 3 is a really nice naked hand to be using. Now I complete those draws, so I do have some Ace Queen with a diamond to be using. So this is a spot where he should never lead. Okay, now begs the question if I do bluff. I think I do because I have offsuit to the 8. What else do I have? Some Ace Jack. That's about it. Going to do it most of the time here. I'm not thrilled about this one, but I do think it's a fine play. Me unblocking the Ace 8 is really nice here. I think that's one of his main check call folds. I want to minimize it. I don't like looking. I think I'm getting called off here. He's going to call. God, last second calls. I feel them so much. I hate... Okay, here anyway, we block calls. Not by much though. We do block 6-5. I think sizing down is good here. Yeah, I like my line. You have to appreciate that my queen jacks that can bluff instead are usually checking back the turn, so I think ace 3 is one of those hands that just kind of gets there. Is this 4-betting? I think this one just pure bets here with blocker to king queen and need for protection slightly. Here I will just bet range. 20% seems good. Nines is doing some 4-betting and some calling and some folding. It's not always going to be V-pipping. Now on the turn my sizing is going to be 41 or even 27, but I think 41 is better here, and I'm just not going to bet nines. I guess I can actually do it as a value bluff here. Kind of makes some sense. I unblock a lot of hands that will call behind. So yeah, I'm actually going to find this before 25. It seems like I think people call it like a hybrid hand, and I kind of agree. It achieves a few things. It achieves getting called behind by hands that will then not bluff the river on some runouts. So we end up value betting. And then obviously we just get hands to fold. That would then potentially put us in a world of pain. And on river I play B27 and all in here. My hand obviously just checks. And then versus bet, I think I'm just going to press call because I've got really good unblockers. I don't really see how I can fold here. I don't think he's going to have any king 9, which is an issue here. But yeah, I think I was going to press call. And ace jack suited, I definitely think there's some 4-betting going on here. Calling this time. I didn't even entertain the option, but this might be foldable pre-flop at some frequency. It's a really big squeeze. It's 2, 2, and then 14. Okay, very interesting spot going on. So first, let's just yeah, let's think about that. Do I want to go 5th pot? I don't want to go 5th pot. I definitely don't want to go 5th pot here. Thinking of sizing down to 20, but that doesn't seem right. If I'm polarized when I'm betting, I don't want to be sizing down to such a small sizing. I think just 27 does the job here. And I was betting the majority of the time here as well. When you are polarized, you don't want to be using a whole range of hands. You just typically want to be using a much smaller range of hands with a higher frequency. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to nut pedal a few combos and then check a lot. I think that's the way the spot works. I don't think I'm just supposed to randomly stab here with king queen of clubs. You know, I think I'm supposed to have a stronger combo. It's a good turn, obviously. Here I don't think we bluff. We just have many other bluffs to choose from. Hands like 6-7 and 9-8 are pretty good ones. 9-8 has a kind of a crappy double gut shot. King 9 just seems like a check, and now press call most likely, and then value bet ourselves. Here now we definitely we get to go 5th pot. I don't believe there is any checking. There probably has to be. In fact, yeah, definitely. So I'll bet before 66. Because we block the continue range, here we just press call. So obviously we have a jack, which is great, but then we want him to have ace king of hearts, ace queen of hearts. So that's going to, even though we have nut potential versus jack, I think the fact that we block the hands we want them to have is a big deal. Now I'm just going to jam, because he doesn't get to fold a jack here, ever. Also a set probably just gets pot odds, right? So I jam. If I'm called it, I'm called it. Happens. But yeah, I think he has to call off with sets here. Just because I can have ace queen of hearts. Okay, we really want to hit a heart here. One time. Chop it up. So the reason why I am here is because I'm doing some work for Pete where I am running I think you can see this workshop now, or poster. So I'm running a group coaching course where I have selected 5 topics to cover. Topics that I think are really important in most players' games, judging from my coaching experience. They are your c-bet turn in single raise pots, in position. C-bet flop and turn out of position in 3-bet pots. And then every single river spot, whether it's in position, out of position, single raise pot, 4-bet pot. No 6-bet pots. So in position, single raise pot, turn c-bets, because that's the spot that people get wrong. Out of position, 3-bet pot, flop and turn, and then every single river spot. This will be done over 5 sessions in a group coaching format, and there are 10 slots available. 7 are taken, so there's only 3 left. And this is a way to advertise that. And yeah, there's only 3 slots left. So if you want to be one of those last 3 players, then feel free to get in contact with Pete. It should be really good. It's £2,500 for 12.5 hours. And I think that's a really, really good deal, given that all the content that we will do will be, firstly, it's all organized already. So I know exactly what we're going to be covering. I've got these guides already. I've got like material prepared. So it's not going to be like, oh, you arrived at the session and I show you 5 sims and give you some things to think about. It's going to be very, very detailed coaching. Very, 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 very detailed coaching. And it's coaching based on things that I've done many times before with other students. So my My coaching now is a lot better than it was a few years ago because I've had, firstly, it's a lot of time to improve, but also I've studied and coached these topics tens of times before. So now I think I'm a really good person to be getting information from on these topics because I know exactly what you should be doing, and I think I've got a good job on, or a good way of articulating it. So if you want to be one of those last 3 people, feel free to get in contact with Pete. Like I said, I think it's a really good opportunity to someone playing. What I would say is if you're playing super low stakes, like 25 an hour, or 25 an hour and below, I would say it's too expensive for you, most likely in terms of buy-ins. That's not, I don't want to sound patronizing, but you know, if you're paying £2,500, you're playing 25 an hour, it's over 100 buy-ins once you do the conversion. It's probably not worth it for you. But if you are playing higher than that, I would seriously recommend, I would recommend you to at least think about it. I think it's a really good opportunity. We bet flop, check turn, and I think check river here. We have a lot of other hands to be using. On the turn, we're very polarized, so we just have random hands like, well, firstly queen nine of spades, but also just queen 4 of clubs and things like that to bluff with instead. All right, we have not much action here. Can do some heads up, just one table for a bit. X let me know says, given the emphasis in the workshop, it seems like the turn single pot will be an emphasis given a lot of boards can play with high frequency flop c-bet. No, not really. I treat the no, I would say the emphasis would be on river actually, the global river work. Don't think I'm raising this one. It's cool. This was very close. This feels like a fold. Yeah, I think I'm just folding this one. I have just lots of better hands there. It's an open ender, but it's an open ender on a flush draw and paired board, so I think I'm just supposed to fold there. Oh, look at it. We go 2/3 check a lot. This one just checks. Probably press call as well. Seems like a really good calling hand. And yeah, betting sometimes here. Flush draw is what I'm going to ask for. Flush draw. How often do you flop flush draws? Do you flop flush draws as much as you flop sets, or am I wrong with that? I don't think we do any raising here. I think we are just strictly calling. We don't block the re-raise range from villain. Versus check, we go with a half pot, and I think we check back very often here. And now we just press call every time. This is going to be half pot. I think global is going to be around 66 or 60. I'll bet this hand before 80. Check this time, and this one just presses call. Check. And obviously, this hand plays itself on the river. Really hard to lose this hand when he goes bet jam. I think people usually find a check somewhere if we lose. Unless he's got something like 9-8 of diamonds, then I expect to lose versus that hand very often in this line. Do some raising often actually. We don't block a7 here, but my hand still raises often. Well, we're going to win the hand at least. Here we go with a 1/3 check. We're betting very often here. This is really tricky on the river though. But yeah, I think we just end up jamming Brit rivers here. He does have to call like king queen with a heart. I block queen 9 of diamonds here. This is very thin, but I think it just has to be the play. Bluffs here are going to be ace jack with a heart, ace king with a heart, king jack with a heart. King jack with a heart is really, really good. Yeah, I don't want to get snapped here, but I think I have to jam here. Losing a lot, yeah. But yeah, nothing much I can do about that. I think my line is just fine here. Would be nice if I could block the a7, but blocking the queen 9 and it being half pot left, even just a bit shy of that, I think it just ends up going in. It's really, really marginal. I think this is block. I think here we are going 20 and range. Something I learned recently in 4-bet pots is that you really prefer 20% a lot of the time, and not like 25 or 33. Just 20 seems good a lot of the time. So I'm going to do that. Money goes in. I think I run into a lot of aces here. That's okay because, well, it's not okay. I think I'm going to lose a stack again, but that's okay. Wow, that's very fortunate. Very... Okay, fine, take it. I'm an EV man. So don't take 2. Alright, chop it up. I can say that I've been running above EV this month, which feels amazing. At peak, I was 72 buy-ins below EV. 72. Not that I was counting every single one of them, which I definitely was. But yeah, I was 72 buy-ins below EV, and this month I am finally running above. So you know what? I'm totally chill with that. You can take half. I'm fine. I got the EV. I'm still way above. Life is good. We bomb flop, now check fold turn here. Traps here need to be high clubs, so you don't want to trap a hand like ace five of clubs too often. But if you have a hand like ace king, ace queen, where you're blocking the continue range, then that's going to be your hand to slow down with a lot. If the jack was offsuit, then yeah, it goes without saying the jack x of clubs would be your trap as well. So try and find these ace king, ace queen traps. Otherwise you end up just check folding a lot here and not having that potential that serves your range a great purpose in that spot. Pure forwarding queens. We win. This is interesting. Jack 10. Wow. Jack 10 that doesn't bet river. That is something. Queen 3-3. I will follow my earlier advice and bet very small, very often. Actually, this one seems a bit bigger because it's queen high. That's a shame. This time. Could be an interesting spot here. Not anymore. Well, still interesting, but not as much as I thought it would be. Calling here, and turn we're going to go 2/3. This one's 4-betting, this one's calling, no leads. I think we do this around 50-50. Bet this time. Not sure on frequency, but 50-50 seems okay. Going to 27 or 20. I think 27. And now this one doesn't seem great because, oh, this is interesting. Okay, so queen jack firstly. I'm going to bluff before 33. I think it's okay here because some 10s get removed, but I think I'm mostly giving up. Here I am going to defend sometimes, but I'm not very happy about it here. But I do just think the right play is to defend some 10s. And then here we go with a half pot check, and I don't think I find queens, although I'm almost positive that I'm wrong and that I should find some queens. Good river, obviously. And now my sizing is 27 and all in. I unblock his calling range here. It's gonna be a bunch of like king jack and then jack 10. I don't think he has many queens here. Actually, it's 1/3, 2/3. Actually, I think I'm just gonna go 2/3. It's not 1/3. This is fold now. It's not 1/3 all in. I have no all ins in this spot. I think I get a lot of folds here, unfortunately. Yeah, I like my line. He jams. This is pretty gross. For sake. I just think we have to press call here. It's not great, but life goes on. This is a really bad turn. We go this and this. 132 check, and I will definitely be checking every time. Not really sure how to build a bluffing range here, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Oh no, I am. I'm just going to be using nostrils. I thought it was a triple board, but it's not. We just have to risk call and lose. Lose. Chop. This one seems like a pure bet. Don't really block his. This is a mistake. Yeah, this is definitely a mistake. I do block his calling range here, so I should probably check this one. Yeah, this is a blunder. I realized as soon as I made it. I was like, wait, this is not good. Because I'm going really, really, really polarized on the turn, I should just have many 2 club hands that check the turn and then river flushes. So I was thinking before betting that I wouldn't have many clubs, and therefore my 8-7 would be worth a value bet, but no, it is worth a value bet, but for a small sizing. It's just a complete blunder. Stupid mistake. Did you ever go broke? No. I did get like kind of close once when I was coming up the stakes. I forget how close, but I remember thinking like if I keep on losing at this rate, it's going to be ugly. But that was some time ago now. Just calling turn here. I think he should be betting a big sizing on the turn. This doesn't really make too much sense. Here we press call. Also just realised this guy has gone from opening 3x to 2x and he's limped. So he's playing 3 different strategies in the small blind, which is a telltale sign he doesn't play heads up, because playing 3 strategies in the small blind is fucking complicated. And yeah, we have to just press call here. My jack unblocks the bluffs with diamonds, and we get good odds. Maybe we could even chop. We're not supposed to chop though, I don't think. Actually, probably, because you only bet 2/3 on turn. Fine. And we definitely don't bluff the king here. We have many other hands to be using. Maybe I'm slightly wrong with that. But no, I have lots of underpairs. Not underpairs, underhands. Because he only bet 1 big blind on flop, I basically have every suited hand that didn't raise the flop there. So I think king 4 is okay to give up with. And the jack 10, yeah, we're definitely not able to fold. And there might be some chance of chop potential because he only went with a 2/3 on turn and then 1/3 on river. Yeah, but in any case, we can't fold because we just completely unblocked the bluffing range. We've got a phenomenal bluff catch, maybe even value catch as well. I think this hand does bet, but very infrequently. We did fold 9 though. Last thing is the results. Okay, so we shall see. I think I'm down a good amount. I would say like 3 binds. EV, don't know about net. 3.5. Oh, it's worse than I thought. So I would go off EV. So anyone might see this and think, oh my god, you're down a lot. But for me, I'm only down 3.5. Yeah, not a great session, unfortunately, but that is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You can see here just not really winning much at Showdown. Yeah, not a great session, but fortunately I've been running pretty good this month, so that does help. Okay, that was it. Thank you for watching, guys. Maybe see you another time. Not sure when though. Feel free to follow my Twitch. I might stream sometime in 2024. Until then, thanks for watching. I will see you sometime soon. Thank you. Bye bye.